Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to try to get started. We won't finish today. We're going to get started on finishing what I call a government job. You watched the video a week or so back. We did this corner over here, and we've had a lot of rain associated with the hurricane and nasty cold weather. We just didn't want to make a big old mess, so we're going to put this on the ceiling in there. Come back and let me show you what we had to do before we could even get started. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. This is a project I did not want to do. I wanted to get it finished. We quit a few months ago when we got up to where we couldn't reach off the scaffolding. And this is why I haven't finished, because we've spent half a day basically building scaffolding inside our molder planer room. These 12 footers we anchored to the ceiling, and then I cut these at 8 feet. And our walk board is set at 7. This is not a course on how to build scaffolding. Go somewhere else and learn that. This is just how we did it. Got a full 2x6. We got a cripple behind it that our ledger's sitting on. We got triple 2x9s, yellow pine. If me and Matthew break in, we need to go on a diet. They're spanning 10 feet, except for this center section is a little over 11. We're spanning about 10 feet from post to post, so perfectly acceptable for what we did, what we're doing. We got X braces. Those posts are attached to the wall to keep them from moving. So all this work to go in to finish this ceiling, because I don't have enough scaffolding and I didn't want to go borrow any. And the problem with scaffolding is you run out of room real quick. We really needed 2 sets of mobile scaffolding where you could walk off of one onto the other. We did most of this in 12 foot. I'm not going to make that mistake again. We're going to cut it back and do it in 8 foot section. Most likely Matthew can put most of it up by himself. We'll see how it goes. We may make some adjustments, but that's what we're here to do. Try to get this ceiling done, get it knocked off our list. It's 2 days of dreary, nasty weather. We had one little project we didn't do this morning for a customer and got that done. And we spent, what, a couple hours before lunch. We got probably a good 3 hours in this. Yeah. I mean, I hate building scaffolding because it serves no purpose once you're done. Just tear it down and dispose of it. But this is the safest way we could do it. So Matthew will find somewhere to get the camera up there where you can see. I'm going to start cutting boards and sending them to him. Hey guys, welcome back. It's the next day for Matthew and I. Yesterday was aggravating. You ever do something, done it wrong, had to go back and redo it? Well, it's real life. Matthew was trying to work up there yesterday and it's just way too tight. Underestimated or overestimated how much roof pitch we had, which is very minimal. So first thing we did this morning is we come in and the scaffolding was up to here. And we dropped it a foot to give Matthew some more headroom. Be a whole lot easier on him. It happens. If you never make mistakes, you never try. So he's got about 5 foot here. He can almost stand up. Then time we get over the wall, we'll definitely be able to stand up. So it was worth 30 minutes of our time to go through and drop all the dead men and all the cross braces to get it down to a more acceptable level. So yesterday we struggled and got 4 rows put up all the way across the building. It was probably 4 or 5 on that other end. Got it all weaved together. So today, hopefully it goes quicker. Like I said, we're only doing 8-foot boards, even though I got 12-foot stock. If I do 8-footers, I can stay on the ground majority of the time, and I can take a board and just hold it up there, and Matthew can get it lined up, and away you go. 12-footers, you definitely got to have 2 people. If we had somebody here to saw, I'd get up there with him, we'd do 12-footers, he'd go quicker. But with just one person trying to install, another person fetching, cutting and fetching, it's easier to do 8-footers. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll put you on time lapse, unfortunately, because we'll be here all day trying to get this done. And we won't get done today because when we get done, we gotta go back, reattach all our conduit cable. The lights from here down are where they're going to stay pretty much, but there's 3 rows of lights up this way that we're going to have to install, put back up where we want them. I actually got a box of new ones behind us because we're going to add another row. Yeah, we got a box of 8-footers. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be 5 rows of lights, and then I got to rewire them all. So we won't get it done today, but if we can get the roof done, I'd be overjoyed. So let's get to it. Okay guys, welcome back. This was a whole day's worth of time lapse. I'm sure Matthew cut it down to a minute or two. To be honest with you, we just didn't have time to stop today. I didn't have a whole lot going on. That's why we was going to do this week, and then it got busy all of a sudden. But today was a challenge. We added 5 or 6 feet to the ceiling, but we had to go through one 3-phase conduit, another 3-phase conduit, 2 rows of lights, iron line over there, lots of different things we had to pull down and work behind and get put back up. We got 1 row of lights back up. We still got to put the other row up, and then we're 3 feet short and we're out of material. So we need about 40 more boards, which, you know, we got a machine sitting right there. Probably gonna run white pine nickel gap, so there'll be a difference. This is yellow pine, forest pine, V-groove, and the last little section will be white pine nickel gap. Just, you wouldn't do it in a house, but here I'm doing it so I can show people the difference. Like I said, one of the reasons we're behind the 8 ball, had a good customer call me this morning, and he's a local contractor, does concrete, and he's not working because it's pouring rain. It's been raining for 3 days, and he wanted to get 1,000 feet of tongue and groove nickel V-groove and have his boys work on the basement while they're sitting around with nothing to do. And I told him, I said, man, I can't do it today. There's no way. I said, I got a scaffolding up in my room, doing the same thing because it's a rainy, nasty week. I said, bring me a sample, because somebody give him some. And I said, bring me a sample, come see me. He walked in and said, oh yeah, you can't do nothing yet. And I said, well, we'll try to do it either tomorrow evening or first thing the next morning. I said, I won't leave you hanging. I said, but I got to get this scaffolding out of the way. And that's what we did this afternoon. We shortened the scaffolding up. It was all the way out to here because we were working right overhead. We moved it back in to here, and that gives us enough room to run our molder tomorrow and try to get the wood we need done as well as fill the customers' need. Because I like these government jobs. They make our place look good. We've made a lot of money off the walls and ceilings in this room, and it's on our project list, and we'd like to, you know, stamp it with a big done. But all that being said, I take care of my customers first because they're the ones who keep the lights turned on. So we worked hard today, got all we could do done. Like I said, moved our scaffolding in. So first thing in the morning, I'm gonna run them boards. I told him I'd have it not tomorrow morning, but the next morning. But if we can get it run tomorrow morning, I'll make his day. It'll be sitting right here. They come show up, and away they go and put his boys to work. So anything else, Matthew? It's been an aggravating day, people, let me tell you. Working over your head, even Matthew not having to come up down the scaffolding, it's still annoying. Oh, first thing we did this morning is we lowered the scaffolding a foot. It was, you know, all the way up to here, and it was too high. We dropped it down a foot, and that made it a whole lot better. Matthew only hit his head 2 or 3 times a day, not all day. So if you're watching the time lapse and you see something go flying across the room, well, you know, just ignore it. Things happen. It's life. It blow off some steam. That way you go home in a good mood. Anything else, Matthew? This is work, people, and I don't mind doing it. It's nice to do it when you have more time. The weather's better, but we're doing it on a nasty rainy day instead of sawing. But tomorrow's back to the real world. We got to get some work done, pay some bills. So that's going to do it. We'll pick up back with you in the morning. May show you running this tongue and groove, a little add-on, something special. If we do, it'll be a quick time lapse. So that's going to do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay guys, welcome back. Sorry we didn't stop and talk to camera this morning. I got up a little late, was behind the 8 ball, had a lot to get done. Had to get this run first thing because we had our machine set up to run this nickel gap already. And I don't know if Matthew filmed it or not, but we turned around and run 1,000 feet of T&G V-groove yellow pine for one of my good customers. He called me. It's been raining this week, and they wanted some of this wood so he could have his guys working in the basement of his house instead of sitting around doing nothing. So that's why we moved all our scaffolding yesterday so we could run that first thing this morning. So it's sitting here ready for him. He's supposed to come by here in a little while to get it. But this is what we needed. This is enough square footage of tongue and groove nickel gap white pine to go right here across the top of the ceiling. I wouldn't recommend doing this in your house. It wouldn't look good. But this is a showroom, and we want to maximize the wall space and ceiling space to show people different species, different looks, different groove patterns. You know, one day we'll cover these metal walls with something completely unique, the next beautiful thing we find. So there's not a lot here, not a lot to teach about putting this stuff together. You got one of your hammering blocks? Here's one. My tip of the day is whenever you put this stuff up, you're going to need some little wedge blocks, and I always use the groove side. So when you put your piece together, if it needs a little persuasion, you know, with a hammer, you can tap on this instead of with on your tongue. That's the last thing you want to do is tap on your tongue, because that'll make the next board hard to put up. So anything else there, Matthew? It's been a busy day. I told Matthew this morning, I said, anytime we're slow, we need to either go on vacation or plan on doing some government work, because we have been flat covered up this week. You know, rainy, nasty, didn't really want to saw, so we was going to work on this building. Didn't have nothing pressing, and we've been hustling the last 2 days trying to take care of customers. So it's a wonderful blessing. I had a customer come by just a few minutes ago, picked up that beautiful rainbow poplar. It's headed to Kentucky this weekend, so I hope to get some pictures back one day on that. We've had a good year. Been very blessed. Cannot complain. We're going to have something special coming up here before long. We'll sit down and talk about it in a video. Really impressed me, so hopefully you'll feel the same way. That's going to do it. I'm going to put you on time lapse, because this stuff just takes time. It's overhead, it's ugly, and you just got to get in there and do it. So let's get to work. Okay, guys, welcome back. It's the next day for us. There's been so much going on this week. We started out with not much to do, and it's rainy and nasty, and we took on this little ceiling project, and then we got covered up with work. Had to get it turned out. Customers coming by, giving quotes on different things. So blessed beyond measure. I ain't complaining by no means. But it's Friday morning, and we got the ceiling done. It got all the scaffolding took down. We got one little piece of trim on that wall and one little piece on this wall that we couldn't do off scaffolding anyway. We got to get that put up, and I've got my wiring started. I got 1, 2, 3 junction boxes, and I got 1, 2, 3 more to wire in. One thing I learned on these lights, guys, these are 8-foot LEDs bought off of Amazon. You can daisy chain them together, but you don't need to more than 2 lights. Unfortunately, when I first wired them up, went down one row and come back to the next, we had a light over here that was pulling too much power, and the end of it caught on fire. And we took one down the other day. The end was burnt. It was too many connections, and nowhere in the instructions that say how many you can daisy chain together. Yeah. That's what you get when you get too many of them. You're flowing too much current through there. And that's probably a number 16 wire, but be careful. That's why we're rewiring it. I'm coming right down the center and basically splitting each time I go down. So there's 2 lights on this side, 2 lights on that side, no more. The circuit's 15 amps. It can handle a bunch of lights. You just can't run them in series. So lesson learned, your tip of the day. I'm quite happy with it. I don't know if you can get a good look off the DJI camera here, but right where this last set of lights is, the first board to the left, from there to the wall is a different board. Everything from the light this way is random 4s, 5s, T&G V-groove pine, just run-of-the-mill yellow pine. And from the light to the wall is 8-inch white pine. Oh, it was 6, wasn't it? Yeah, it's laying right here on the table, right there. But everything from the lights to the right side is 6-inch nickel gap white pine. Now, like I said, you wouldn't build a house this way, but for a display in a workshop, I think it works out great. Gives me a lot of options when customers come in. I tell them, well, we can do T&G V-groove and T&G nickel gap, and their eyes glaze over. They've never heard of nickel gap. I've got it on the wall. I've got it on the ceiling. I can walk them down there and say, this is the difference. Smooth face, and you still got a gap between the boards, or smooth face with a V-groove between each one of the boards. And I'll be honest with you, the more I see this nickel gap on a big wall, the more I like it. What do you think, Matthew? I mean, it's growing on me. I've never seen it in use a whole lot, but if you're doing a lot of wood in your house, well, of course you change species to break it up. Well, why not change the groove? Instead of V-groove, maybe go with nickel gap.
There's less room for error with nickel gap.
Yeah, Matthew's right. There's less room for error. If your board's bowed or you miscut it a little bit, it's gonna stand out. It's kind of like a 3-tab shingle. They're either right or wrong. You ever driven down the highway and you go by a house and you say, something was wrong. And next time you go by, you slow down and you look, and they didn't get their tabs lined up on their shingles. And your eye caught it just like that, instantly. So, I'm not going to say we thoroughly enjoyed this project, because it was a lot of work.
Enjoy that it's done.
Yeah, we're enjoying the fact that it's done. We basically did from the 3rd row of lights all the way over here, almost half the ceiling, if not more. I didn't realize there's that much left. And it's all overhead, just aggravating. We had to build that big old wall of scaffolding. Now, luckily the scaffolding is not going to waste. One of Matthew's good friends had asked him about some scrap lumber to build some steps out of. So we got just the scrap you need, buddy. 2x6s and 2x9s. You can build a heck of a set of stair treads out of that. So all that's going to his friend's house today, tomorrow, be gone. So we're not wasting it. Didn't cost us nothing to build the scaffolding. It was, you know, free wood off the mill. Screws, we used 10 pounds of screws. Didn't cost us the screws because we took them all back out and put them back in the box to reuse later.
I think we lost 4 that didn't come out.
Yeah, I might have broke a couple that didn't come out, but you know, overall, the scaffolding was a net zero cost other than time, and there was no way to work overhead. The only thing I could have done was put up 40 feet of scaffolding, because you got to be able to walk back and forth, because we'd take 2 or 3 rows and basically walk across the building, come back, grab 2 or 3 rows, walk across the building. That's the downside of this stuff. When you get over your head, it can be cumbersome. Now on a wall, ain't no big deal, especially if you're doing a wall, you know, horizontally. You can just walk around the room. But it was a challenge, but nothing that can't be managed. It's good for us to do some work with our own wood. The wood that we used was technically the very first boards that we run on this machine, the V-groove, over a year ago. Because we had some very low quality pine left over. One of my contractors had delivered. I'm talking little bitty stuff. We was lucky to get 5, 6 inch wide boards out of it. But we sawed it knowing that we was going to get this machine running, and we run it all and learned how to use the machine, and then started on the ceiling, and then this week we finished the ceiling. Run a little short because I'd sold some pieces out of the pile. Probably had enough, hadn't sold some, but worked out good. We got that little section of white pine nickel gap on the ceiling I can show customers. But like I say, it's good for us to use our product. It helps you refine your quality of work, make sure you're doing good quality work. I did learn, and another good thing, we learned to tell a customer, if you're doing a ceiling, you don't want 12-foot boards. I can tell you from personal experience, you do not want to put 12-foot boards on a ceiling unless you've got 4 people, because you need 3 on the board helping you get it lined up, and you need 1 on the ground cutting and handing. Well, it's just me and Matthew, and I'm not walking up and down scaffolding on every board. It ain't worth the trouble. This, I got up maybe 2 dozen times on top of the scaffolding to help him. Had one that just wouldn't act right.
Most of those were right here at the end where I just couldn't.
Yeah, most of the time I had a long board. I'd just come down here and I'd hold one end up while he got the other end started, and he'd walk right across it and snap it in the way he went. So, like I say, we learned a good lesson to pass on to our customers. And that's the first thing I ask them when people tell me they want T&G. Are you doing a wall or are you doing a ceiling? Oh, you're doing a ceiling. You want 8-foot stuff. You can learn from my mistake. You want 8-foot stuff. So, I know it's not sawmilling, but it's definitely sawmill related. It's in our sawmill molder building here. And I like it. I would recommend, if you're going to get into this, kiln drying, molder planing, when you build a room for your molder, build you a display room. This thing is paid for itself tenfold just by being able to show people different styles, different species of wood. I need to count up one day how many different species we got in here. It's a bunch. The wainscoting around the bottom, I can walk around and show them different kinds of woods. Not everybody knows what wood looks like. I got a wall of sweet gum right there. You guys seen for over a year.
Not a single person's got it right yet.
I've yet to have a customer walk in, what is that? And they guess, because they've never seen it. And we sold a good bit off that wall. So that's something you can do that help. What else? I think that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found value in it. Matthew and I are enjoying that it's done.
We try to get it up before you get all the stuff on the ceiling.
Yeah, it's best if you can put this up before you do all this 3-phase wiring and air lines and electrical stuff, but we couldn't. We had to get all this done to get the machine running, and then we could make our material. So it's kind of reverse psychology. Now this wall here, I don't know if I probably told you in the past, we handmade this wall of T&G V-groove because we had to get it up before the three-phase stuff went in. So we made everything on the upper half of the wall and from the panel back to the wall. And then the rest of it's come off our molder. And trust me, after we made that and installed it, we don't want to do any more by hand. By hand, I mean, we straight line edged it, and then we planed it, and then we took it up to the shop and used the tongue shaper, and then used the groove shaper. And I think we had 8 hours in making enough material to cover that wall. And now we can run that in 5-10 minutes at the most. You know, just so. Lesson learned. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. We gotta get the floor cleaned up, get all our crap moved back over here, get some other things done today. So, as always, we appreciate you watching, guys. Big shout out to Matthew and Solomon doing our videos. Greatly appreciate it. If you get a chance, check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing. He's got some new stuff going on that you really ought to check out. You'll like it.
He started making his own music now.
Yeah, he started making his own music, and you go check him out. You appreciate it. He'd appreciate you coming in. Give him a shout out from Bearded Lumber while you're there. We'd appreciate that. If you're interested in a hat, you can check out beardedlumbernc.com. We got hats for sale. As always, we love our wood miser stuff. Couldn't do any of this without it. If you're at all interested in the molder, we enjoy our winding. I would buy a new one today if I had to. I really don't want to because they're quite expensive. But for production and quality and durability, there's nothing out on the market I would put up against it right at the moment. They are at a high price point, but you get what you pay for. Even this old machine is quality workmanship. It still runs great. They made these back in the late 80s up through the 90s. They call them the green machine. And people don't want to get rid of them. They're durable, they're dependable, they just keep on running. So big shout out to Whining. That's it, brothers. Appreciate you tuning in. Sorry I didn't get to do a whole lot of talking. It was just a lot of head down, elbows, and getting at it and trying not to throw the hammer too much. But you know, we're human just like everybody else. Guys, we appreciate you watching. We're blessed that y'all come in and check out what we're doing. If you got any comments, leave them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. That's going to do it. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.